Awesome. So, well, welcome to Coffee Connect, everyone. I'm Rodney. I'm the host. I'm back after 3 weeks. Right. First of all, I gotta say, thank you, Jeff Hexter, Ran, for the last month, really, of standing in for me, man, and hosting and keeping things running for us and stuff. Uh, I watched the videos. You've done a phenomenal job, and I really appreciate it, brother. And eventually, I'll get up there to Cleveland. We'll get a chance to sit down, and maybe I can buy you a bottle of wine or a beer or something. I don't know. I don't think you drink that much, do you? Yeah, I didn't think you did, but we'll figure out something, man. Maybe it's just breakfast at Jack's Deli's or something, but we'll figure that one out, man. And but I definitely owe you, man. I really appreciate all the assistance over the last few weeks and stuff in keeping things going, guys. Again, if you're new here today, I don't know if we have anybody new here. I don't see any new folks on. Am I missing somebody? Because I'm not seeing everybody right now. If we get new people, right? I mean, we want to make sure that they stay connected, they're able to get logged in. And Steve, I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Please email me the stuff you did have issues with, so I can make sure that everything is running smoothly.
Yep, I'll do that.
And as always, guys, we can go back to the website and check out our playbacks from previous weeks, right? And so today, the discussions are really going to be inspired from my last 3 weeks of hiatus, and we want to hear everyone's kind of conversations and sharing of what they do to help recharge themselves. Before we get into the discussion, I got to know, is there any celebrations or announcements that you guys have that you want the entire group to know? I'm going to stop sharing here so we can, if anybody has something. Going once? Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I don't know if you all saw on LinkedIn, Rita celebrated a 4-year anniversary of her business, which every year is a major accomplishment. And she's one closer to 5, which kind of means like you're in it forever. So if you haven't seen that or haven't talked to her about it, I know she's gone up and down with the entrepreneurship types of stuff. It's a big deal. The other one is Adrian just posted something very recently on LinkedIn, which was kind of fascinating. It's called the ACT matrix, and it's about inside outside outlook and how to kind of get yourself out of a funk very quickly. And it's just a graphic with a short story next to it. So again, for those of you that may be struggling with procrastination or pushing some of the things from January to now July to August, it was a quick and easy little diagram that he posted out there that if it resonates with you, get a hold of them. I think those are two things that would be worth looking into if as other members of the Coffee Connect have posted out there.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Dave. And we should always be celebrating everybody's accomplishments. And I agree, 4 years, you're on that brink right now of we're going to be here for a long time, right? And so please jump on Rita's site. I know she's been doing a lot of social media stuff, LinkedIn and stuff. And I know yesterday she announced that any support we could give her in boosting posts and stuff like that, obviously with genuineness and authenticity to liking those posts would be greatly appreciated. So, so new folks, and Jeff, you'll have to help me because you've been here and I haven't. Miska, are you there?
Miska, you need to unmute. Oh, well.
Miska, you need to unmute.
Yep. So, Michael, are you there? I'm not sure who Michael is either.
It's Michael Wilhide.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Michael Wilhide. Okay. Okay.
Hi.
Hey, Michael, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, and you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thanks for joining us. I wasn't sure who it was. I didn't see a last name, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't a new person. Miska, if
I need to fix that on my Zoom, and I don't know why my camera light is on, but I'm not sure if Zoom is blocking the camera or something today. So
Gotcha. Well, we have a perfect tech person here that might be able to help you at some point, not right now, but Jeff Hexter might be able to help you work through that issue, man, if you get time
That's,
to do a one-on-one. So, Miska,
yeah, that'd be great.
I seen your chat there, Miska. We'll come back to you if you get unmuted. That'd be great. We'd love to give you a chance to introduce yourselves, let us know who you are, what you're doing, and hopefully how we can help you in any way, shape, or form. Let's go ahead and keep moving, guys, because we got some good stuff to get through. So. Um, Perfect celebrations. We'll get through we'll come back to that, right? And as I said, so today's about recharging yourself, right? And guys, over the last 3 weeks, man, I've had an amazing vacation. If you've been on Facebook, you probably kept up with some of the photos and stuff. And if I get a chance today, I don't mind coming back and sharing some of those. I started doing it with Tim and them yesterday, and we realized I've got like 2,000 photos, right? And there's way too many photos to go through in a 10 or 15 minute time frame. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to share is that, this trip has been on my mind for a long time, right? And it's always been Chris and I's dream to take the kids back to Greece because that's where we honeymooned. And so, um, we use my son's graduation and our upcoming 25th anniversary kind of as the catalyst to say, this is when we're going to do it. This is what we're doing, and pulled the trigger. But also part of that was just having that vision that it was going to happen, right? I mean, this has been on my why wall for a long time. And I don't want to say that it's checked off because the reality is that we want to travel all around the world, not just in the uh, Eastern Mediterranean, right, and stuff. But it's definitely one of the check boxes that we wanted to get off our list for taking the kids back and showing them some wonderful areas of the world, right, and stuff. And there was some obviously religious context to what we did because we were in Ephesus and we went and visited, I think, every cathedral that we could visit, right, and learned a lot of the stories, like walked through some of the stories, right, of the Bible and stuff while we were there. And so I would tell you, whatever it is that you do, right? I would tell you this trip probably brought me home to much more energy in my life than I had before, even though that may not have been the initial intention, right? This is a part of, hey, I set out to have a goal, I set out to have a dream, I set out to do something, and I made it happen. And by accomplishing things, right, sometimes that helps recharge your batteries to go, what's the next thing I can accomplish? What's the next thing I can do? What's the next level of my business? What's the next level of my job search or my job or my career or whatever else it might be, guys? And so I'm going to open the floor. We all know that recharging our batteries, right, and it is a necessity. And we also know that everyone does it in a different way, right? For me, right, recharging my battery is putting me around 1,000 people, right? Put me around a bunch of people, right, and I'm going to feed off of whatever I can feed off of because that's what energizes me, getting around other people, right? Contrary to that, there's probably some people in the room, feel free to raise your hand or pipe in if you want to, that feel like I recharge my batteries best by going and sitting in a room that's quiet and nobody else is there, and I can sit down with my own thoughts and focus on the things that I need to focus on. Does that make sense to anybody? Right. So just we're going to kind of do a round robin here before we go to breakout rooms and stuff, but how do you guys recharge, right? I'm going to toss the baton, and we'll play the toss the baton game here for a second as we push it around. But tell me how you feel like your method of recharging is most capitalized upon, right? Jeff D.
Any chance you can get back to me? I'm responding to Lamar. Lamar has me on a pretty important task.
I was on vacation.
Well, actually, in his message, he writes back to vacation mode, Lamar.
Yeah.
But there's still an assignment. So if that's okay, I'll just
that's what he wrote to me earlier today too. So perfect. I'll pass it to how about Steve and Steve Levin?
Yeah, sure. Getting outdoors, camping, out in the water, something like that. Just getting out with nature. That helps recharge me a bit.
typically by yourself or with others or?
With others, yeah, yeah, a small group, not a huge
Yeah.
group, thousands like you, not quite so much. Smaller groups are good.
Yeah. Pass the baton, man.
Oh yeah, sure. Diana K.
Okay. Wow. It depends on the situation. When stress is overwhelming, then it's clear the decks, get out of my kitchen. I'm gonna create something. And baking is my hobby, though I don't eat traditional baking goods. So I always have to have an outlet for where it's going to go. Then the other real recharge. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just volunteering. Yeah.
I see that. I see that. And otherwise, it's camping, swimming, being out, even just porch time at our house with my mother, watching the birds and the young squirrel family we have. That's been interesting. So that's how I recharge. And the other important element is physical exercise. So that's how every day starts.
Pass it on.
I will pass it to Allison.
I think that my best recharge is a relocation. So, often that would be like a vacation or just like even a like weekend away, getting myself out of the norm and being able to put all of it aside and spend a little bit of time just being. That is the best way to get me refocused and re-energized, I think. And then also depending upon the situation, just like reading for fun, is also a great way that like anytime I can use to take my mind off of what's stressful or difficult and escape a little bit to someplace else, even if I can't physically escape to someplace else.
Nice. My military mind jumped in right away when she said relocation. I was like, what? Every 3 years. Go ahead and pass it, Allison.
Absolutely. I will pass to Jared.
Thanks, Allison. I think my life is so busy right now between what I'm doing with work and what I'm doing outside of work. I just kind of catch breaks and, recharge on the fly. But how I do that right now is either through volunteering or like Rodney, being with family. You know, um, it's been such a pleasure, just being able to be closer to Cincinnati, where my family is, and just be able to shoot down here when I need it, or when somebody needs something from me. And doing something for others has always been something that's got my, you know, it's been something that I do well. I'm a very giving person, so yeah. If you want to get me in a recharge mode, let me give to you.
Awesome. Awesome. Keep passing it, man.
How about Ray?
All right. Thanks, Jared. I'm multitasking. Sorry for no camera. I'm cooking breakfast and all kind of fun stuff.
We'll be right over.
So for me, I just really go into what I like to call my dark place, and it keeps me continuously motivated. I just think about hard financial times, and I never want to go back to those. And it will motivate me to do anything immediately, regardless of what the task is, just because when I think about it mentally, like even talking about it now, it makes me want to get up and do something extremely productive because I never want to go back there. So it's not necessarily a recharge, but it is a highly motivating thing for myself.
I like it. Carrot and stick. Carrot and stick. Raise a stick, guy. He don't want the stick anymore.
I will pass it to Dave.
Thanks, Ray. I'm kind of like Diane, I think there's twofold. Physical activity, exercise is a great endorphin to get just everything cleared, body and mind, but also just the quiet time. As an introvert, I do need to recharge from even group discussions like this. It's just, you just need that personal time. So those two things are kind of my yin and my yang. And I'll pass to Tim.
Thanks, Dave. I recharge by getting outside, hunting, camping, fishing. Can be solo, can be with a close group of friends. But just getting out, turning the phone off, um, disconnecting, that's how I recharge. I'm trying to think who's not been picked. Aaron.
I like to recharge in a few different ways. I like to get out on the water, whether it be lake or if I'm lucky enough to go to the ocean, which I will be going next week. So that's a good recharge for me. Going to see a band play is always really, really in my wheelhouse, or being around animals is always really great. Or if I just have a craft day where I can just sit and create and make things, that's always recharging for me. So that's what I kind of like to do. So I will pass it to, I think Jeff said he's ready, so go for it. You always pick on me.
Thank you, Aaron. I am ready. I completed my assignment from Lamar. My recharge zone is walking outside 3 laps. So anyone who knows me knows I'm a creature of habit, routine obsessively. So they all know me in the neighborhood. Hey, Jeff, what lap is this? Oh, this is 2. This is 3. So yeah, it's fun. And I will pass it to Habib.
Good greetings, everyone. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I am so glad to be back here. I'm really sorry for taking so long, but I just love all of you guys. And yeah, my recharge zone is being with animals because I'm an animal lover, huge animal lover. So, just because I'm involved in animal rescue work, it can be pretty stressful, but it can also be very stress relieving. So, other than that, I love listening to Michael Jackson songs that can be very stress relieving too. And yeah, that's my share. And I will pass it on. Actually, who am I supposed to pass it on? I don't know for
So we
sure.
got Joe, Miska, Krishiv, Rita,
I'll pass it on to Miss Rita.
and Michael, I think, are left too.
Hi, everybody. So, as many of you know, I'm a very avid cyclist. And so I clock somewhere between 50 to 75 miles a week on my bike. I have a very firm boundary that I bicycle on Thursdays at lunch and Saturdays in the morning. And that boundary held firm has proven time and time again to wipe the cobwebs out, increase the mood, keep the train moving. And the hard part about, whether you're job seeking or entrepreneur is kind of keeping your head in the right headspace, that positivity. It gives me a little time with my brother and some of my cycling friends. I'm the spiritual person, so I hit church every week. Um, but I also make sure I give myself some quiet time at home with any number of my other kind of movies or books or cooking. Um, and obviously I have spoken at length more than once about my love of library, so we've all heard that. But I love architecture, and nothing gets me nerded out more than going someplace that I haven't seen their buildings before, and I can see all the different nuances of this is how they expressed Art Deco, or these are what their Victorian homes look like. So I love kind of nerding out on all of that.
Want me to help you, Rita? Joe.
Okay. I would say in the summertime, I am a walker, and there's two different kinds of walking. For me anyway, one is without headphones and listen to nature and just kind of listen to the kind of the noises of the day. And then the other is to put the headphones on and just turn it up and just blow everything out of your brain and refresh that way. I'm also a golfer, so going to the driving range and beating about 50 golf balls can kind of get a lot of tension out of you. And then in the winter time, it would be more working out. Sometimes you can't walk outside because of snow and stuff like that. And I would say in the summertime, it's also graters for ice cream. And in the winter, it's graters for coffee and a blueberry muffin.
Nice. I've heard Jeff was in that mix too. He hasn't went yet.
And yeah, I'll throw it to the GPT man.
Well, as a large language model, I just have to respond with everybody's combined information. No. My recharge is networking. I love doing one-to-ones with people, and I try to get in as many in a week as I can. I'd rather network than work. And the conversations that I have are always learning something new or finding some way to help somebody. But if it wasn't that, it would be, you see the holes in paper behind me? I find that focus on task that is intensely concentrating like that for a period of time, maybe I'm only at the range for an hour, but that helps me recharge for the next several weeks, I think. And if it was a vacation, I want to go on a cruise.
Definitely different kind of range versus golfing.
Yeah, I don't want the opposite. If you put me outside, that is not relaxing for me. I burn in the sun. I burn in the moonlight. If I'm out on the golf course, it's awful.
What SPF level do you have on right now?
What you can't see is the tiny little headshots that he's taking of all the people that say no to him, that they don't want to meet with him one-on-one.
Those targets are
Michael, are you there? Can you share?
Yes, I'm you. So I just recharged my batteries last week. I was at the beach with my family for 1 week. So that's my kind of special place is the beach. And when I'm not on the beach for family vacation, usually I like to be out on the deck with my cat and my wife, listening to the birds, watching the wildlife in our backyard.
Nice. Christian? Miska, can you unmute yet?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So sorry about earlier. Thank you. I'm similar to Joe, where I really like to walk, and sometimes it's with music and sometimes not. I do listen to music every day, whether I'm like cooking in the kitchen. I try to make sure I get music in, and then I like to try new workout classes. So I just tried a Boga Fit the other day, where you're like on the water doing a lot of balance. I'm like a Boga board in a pool doing balance. So I recharge by trying new kind of workout routines.
I like it. I like it. So, Christian, are you there yet? Maybe not. Maybe. If you jump in, please let me know and we'll let you go. So I started the conversation, guys, off by talking about kind of my family and the vacation that we had. And then I said, hey, I get energized by being around thousands of people. Obviously, being on a cruise ship for 11 days, right? I was around thousands of people. But I think what energized me the most, right, when I got back and I felt like this overwhelmingness of I want to work harder, I want to do more, I want to be able to get out on more appointments, I want to go meet more people, all of these things, was because the dream that I put into place to take my kids back to Greece was what came to fruition, right? It was being around my family, it was being around my kids, it was spending those times and making those memories that truly recharged my battery, because I know now that if I go out and do more, right, work-wise, and help more people and do things like that, right, that I can make more of those memories along the way. And so we're gonna go to breakout room here real quick and just some quick discussions on obviously the methods that you found useful. Maybe you've heard something today from somebody else that you kind of want to understand how they are implementing that into their routines and stuff, please talk about how you're incorporating any routines into your daily lives or your schedules, right? Because I think it's important for us to understand that we should not have to wait. I know Diane did something on burnout probably a couple years ago for us, right? We shouldn't have to wait until we're burned out to recharge, right? We should find routines to put into our life, right, that allow us to recharge on a frequent basis. But here's the problem. You guys know, like you plug your phone in to recharge your cell phone, right? You understand your cell phone is actually designed for only so many recharges, right? And so if you're constantly recharging when your battery's only at 80%, right? Going from 80 to 100, 80 to 100, you're actually losing potential within the work of that phone. And I think our lives are the same way, right? If I didn't do any work today and I feel like, oh, I got to go recharge, let me go drink a beer somewhere or whatever. I mean, whatever it's going to be, right? I'm losing my potential in that manner, right? And sometimes you got to let the battery get down to less than 50% before we go do that. You don't have to wait until you're at 10, right? Or worse, right? And so let's go to breakout room, just kind of share what our experiences have been and where we're using them, and hopefully where we can incorporate any other practices that are out there. We'll go for about 10 minutes, guys. Please introduce yourselves if you don't know each other. I'll see you back here shortly. So here's the next phase of this, right? I mean, we all know that it's a necessity for us to kind of operate and continue to operate at some sort of level of performance, right? To be able to recharge, kind of re-energize and do these things. Where in your life have you seen doing these small habits of recharging, right? So to speak, where have you seen them most impact your work performance and things like that?
I go.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray. Yes.
So I do a weekly reset per se. Like I have what I call a power hour, where I go through everything that's been going on the previous week, what I've accomplished, what I didn't accomplish, what went right, what didn't go right. I kind of track all this stuff throughout the week, and at the end of the week, it's very, very motivating to see, what I've done, what I've accomplished, what didn't work, and then also to figure out why or what happened for something to not go as planned. Um, Doing that weekly is very, very motivating for me. So I suggest it to anyone.
Yeah, I think we have to put it in some kind of routine. I think weekly is good. At a minimum, monthly, we've got to figure out something, right? What else? What other experiences you guys got to share? Where this has impacted? What do you got, Rita?
So this is my throw up list every week. This is everything I got going on for the whole week. This is last week's list. This is everything I think about, everything I'm working on, personal, professional, right? I handwrite my calendar every week because I'll remember it better. My professional items, things I have to pay for, like, because all of these things interact with each other. I got to tell you, I try to get this done at the end of the day on Friday so that I can start my Monday fresh. If I don't, that means Monday's not going to be as productive. And I started doing this years ago, and it seems silly, right? It just is like writing in a notebook. I'm like, dear diary, this week I have, right? But it really centers me. It helps me because I can get distracted very easily. And it helps me take my post-it note and say, pick 4 things. And then this notebook goes away. And those 4 things are the only thing that gets worked on. And once those 4 things are done, I can go back to the list again and kind of rework it.
I like it. I like it. I was a little worried there. You said throw up list. I was like,
It's not meant to be. Yeah, I mean, you're just sort of mentally throwing up on paper, right? It's anything you're thinking about. Oh, take the trash out, clean the lamp. Like it's everything, right? Because
yeah.
Rita, this is because you don't have a wife that gives you the list.
well, and I said in Cannes a couple weeks ago, I spent a Sunday housewifing myself, right? I spent the whole day cooking, cleaning, mending clothes. Like some days you have to, and I think this is true for single people, married people, whatever, sometimes you have to like up your domesticity and trying to get that kind of in shape and in order.
Anybody else?
I'll piggyback on that a little bit.
Yep.
Sometimes there's just like a rainy, crappy day here. I'll say, okay, I'm going to take this room and I'm just going to clean it out. And, if there's something that should, go to charity, put it in a bag and take it there. Or if it's something that you haven't used in a couple years, throw it out, or, try to find a way to repurpose it and just, literally clean house and just kind of take a room and go through it and do those kinds of things. And the other thing, I am a big checklist person too. There was once I took a week of vacation, and when I got back, this lady asked me, she says, what did you do last week? I said, well, I got a list of 40 things that I wanted to do. And I put that together and I got 37 of them done. And she's like, God, I never could have even made the list. Like she was like total, God bless her, love her like a sister, but she was a little bit of a scatterbrain. And it's just like, she was like, I couldn't even make a list like that. I couldn't focus like that. And that you got 37 out of 40 done was great.
So two things. One, I think we've all probably done the Joes, right? When on those rainy days that we're just like, okay, what we can get done. I think back to COVID, right? When everything got shut down and how much stuff I got done around the house and through the house. And I built a tiki bar out back. There's all kinds of things that I did, not to say that they were productive in life, but I got a lot of stuff done, right? And created a bigger list along the way, Rita, to go, oh, these are the other things I need to do, right? I will tell you, so
the list never ends, Rodney. The list never.
No.
That's adulthood. The list never ends. I'm sitting here thinking about, I did all of those domestic things. Man, I could stand a car clean out, friends. Like seriously, like a good car clean out. So there you go. I'm thinking about other.
Delegate. You have to.
And I think back to like when we first started Coffee Connect, right? And I felt like the task of things to do on a weekly basis was a mile long. And it would maybe take me 2 days, right? Literally to get through writing the emails and all that stuff and doing a summary letter and things like that. And today, obviously, we've been introduced to AI and so many other tools that can help automate those things and make it a lot easier. But so I'm going to circle back around here to the trip, right? Um, I'm a pretty organized guy, right? As far as client data and stuff, we've got great systems that help us keep organized client data and things like that, right? But in life, I'm a pretty organized guy as well. But I would tell you on this trip, right, I got hyper. Ray Matthews would have been very proud of me, right, for the organization that I had in this entire trip, right, down to the point that I had all the tickets printed, I had everything in order in an envelope, right. Everything was basically, the day would come up and I would say, here's the things that we're doing, and it was all there, right. And I realized something during this 3 weeks, right, that the more you can almost create your life around that. And I look back at the 3 weeks, and for those of you again that have seen the pictures, man, there wasn't a quiet moment in that 3 weeks that we weren't doing something and life wasn't happening and we weren't making memories or something like that. But I realized that the more organized you do get in your life, the more productive you can be. And like the lower your battery actually goes when you're doing useful work, not just spending time or wasting time or wasting that energy. Does that make sense? Right. And so I always joke that I'm going to need a vacation away from my vacation, right? But I came home and I went, I kind of went straight to work doing what I needed to do. And I still had sleep to catch up on because 7 hours of jet lag is horrible, right? But it didn't stop me from waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and starting to live the dream again and produce the dream again, right? And so hopefully you guys can find ways to recharge, and hopefully you learn some things about other people today, right? One of the things I love about breakout rooms all the time is I always learn new stuff, right? About people, and today was not at fail for the one breakout room that we had, right? And so hopefully you guys learn some things that you can take back into your routines and your lives, right, to help you recharge on a frequent basis, right, so that you can continue to go out there and pursue your dreams, and more importantly, go out and teach others to do the same, because we are walking around as a society sometimes just drained and beat down, and don't have enough other people cheering us on, right, to go out and do some great things. And that's what life should be all about. So continuing to look for speakers for the rest of August and throughout September, guys. So if you know somebody or you've got a topic, right, please reach out to me. Let's get you on the calendar. Other than that, go out there, have a great week, everybody. And remember, I love you guys.
Have a great
Love you
week,
too,
everybody.
Rodney.